is going on, y'all? It's your girl, Onye. Welcome to Onye's World, an Onye's podcast world. Today, I have the beautiful Frances Craig over here today. What's up, Frances?
What's up, Onye?
This is our first time doing a podcast together, and we are doing one on femininehood, which this was actually something we were talking about randomly. And then we decided, you know what, just fuck it, let's just do a podcast. And let's talk about it on a grander scale.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of conversations go pretty deep. And we could probably make a lot of podcasts around certain aspects of life that we've talked about. But I think this is the one that hit the hardest. At the same time. So it kind of made the most sense to, let's just sit down and actually dedicate some time to actually talk this shit out.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's so strange how, two people live in two different lives. We're friends, but we're living two different lives. And we both have a whole life-changing moment surrounding this theme.
Right.
And it's shit.
Completely different scenario.
Yeah.
But it still all kind of goes back to femininehood and embracing your femininity and all that fun stuff.
By the way, I love that nails.
Thank you. I just did them. Part of embracing my femininehood is doing my nails. I don't know if you can really see them.
I can see them.
Pink, and then this is a white outline. Something very short but classy. And
that's cute.
Very over, basically.
Summer's not over. Don't say that, please. We're still in shit. This is the last day of July.
We got 1 month left.
We literally go, oh my god, no, I'm not ready for this. But anyway, so first we'll go into pretty much saying what feminine is. Because I think when we're growing up, we're not really taught the exact same word about what being feminine is. And I mean, like we were saying before we actually started recording this, that we hear more about, manhood and what manhood is and journey to manhood, and there's so much videos about it, but there's nothing really speaking to exactly what femininehood is and how a female finds that in her, and how society plays a role in that, even though society doesn't really tell you what being feminine really is. They're just explaining in most vaguest terms. So we'll go into that first, and then we'll share our own stories. And then, we'll banter and we'll curse. So if you can't really take that, being cursing and being blunt,
Yep.
If y'all didn't hear it, just say get the fuck out. Yeah, get the fuck out, literally.
And I think just something I want to add to what you just said. So there's always that term of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
But there's definitely toxic femininity as well, of women just being expected to just know how to be feminine and how to hit certain beauty standards. I don't know, especially from whatever culture you're in,
exactly,
whatever family you're growing up in, if your mom is not the type that does makeup and does this and does that, you're not going to do that when you're young, or you're not going to be exposed to it when you're young. You're
going to
older. That's kind of what happened to me, and I'll go into that further into detail.
It's so funny you brought up the cultural aspect of it, because there's also a cultural difference in what being feminine is. Because in some certain cultures, you have women who are strong, who are meant to be the head of the households in itself, and that's a form of them being feminine. And we'll get into this whole lot more, because we're just going to stay here and just keep digressing. So we'll start with Frances just telling us what her backstory and what she thought being feminine is, and now her journey into where she is now.
Alright, so pretty easy. I was a tomboy growing up, 100%. For me, feminine growing up was my mom forcing me to put on a dress and the Mary Janes, to have to go to church and this and that, and me fighting with her and crying because she wanted to do curlers in my hair and this and just being I don't want to, and then just kind of being every event was a fight. I don't wear a dress, I just want to wear pants, mommy, please. Can I wear slacks? Can I do this? And part of that, I guess, was me being insecure, with my body, and not really liking the way clothes looked on me, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think just because it always had a negative undertone to it, like, okay, we're going to an event, so you have to get dressed up, and like my mom punishing me for not wanting to like get dressed up, and it being like, no, just do it, like, look, you look so pretty, da 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 da. And now it's at the point where I'll send her pictures and dresses, and she's like, if only you could have done this when you were a kid. But I'm like, but the ideology behind it and the mentality that I have putting on these dresses now are so different.
Yeah.
Beautiful instead of it being just bored. I'm doing it willingly, not because I have to.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest problem, and I'm sure every little girl goes through that. Like, you know, those damn white socks with the
yeah.
Gosh, I hated those, but I always had to wear them, and I grew up Catholic, so you had your communion, your confirmation, your this, your that, going to church on Sundays. It was a lot. So that's kind of little kid femininity, just kind of rebelling against it, I would say. And then as I got older, I was always friends with girls, but I was always the tomboy out of everyone because I was more closer with the guys. Like, I always felt like one of the guys. Like,
yeah,
I feel that way too, because I'm still kind of that way. Like, when we ever go out and stuff, like, I always end up talking to all the men there, even if they're grown-ass men, construction workers, and their wives are trying to talk to me, but I'm having a whole deep-ass conversation with their husbands, and it's like, yo, I'm not into them, I promise, but he's talking some real shit. You're just trying to talk to me about makeup.
Yeah.
Cool, we can talk about that too, but that's not really a deep conversation like he's talking to me about. And not that women can't have deep conversations, though. They absolutely can. We're having one right now. But, you know, when it's that getting to know someone kind of conversation, I feel like men are a lot faster to just talk about real shit than women are sometimes. Or, you know.
Yeah.
That's, you know, whatever culture they're in, that's mostly Hispanic cultures or white cultures.
Yeah.
That the women always, like, my family, for example, is Italian and Greek and all this stuff. You know, they want to talk to you about, like, oh, you look so pretty, where's that dress from, da 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 da. And then maybe the guys on the side are talking about fucking how fucked up the world is and that shit. And I want to go to that conversation.
Exactly.
About dresses, you know. So as a teenager and stuff, it was like, I'm the girl here because everyone around me is guys. So this is my femininity. If I wear whatever, I'm still the girl. Like,
yeah.
Flirting with me. Obviously, I'm the only girl here, right? That's what it is. And then I think I'll wrap it up right now. As I got older and, you know, I started struggling with more insecurities from, you know, things with my hair, body image, anxiety, depression, losing a lot of weight, struggling with that. I tried to embrace all my problems, tried to fix my problems, and then I'm trying to, when I say embrace my problems, is not taking whatever issues I have negatively, trying to put a positive spin on it. So, for example, obviously I'm wearing a wig, right? But that's because I have hair loss issues. So instead of me crying and just being so upset about, fuck my hair, I'm never going to have a regular life, I'm like, you know what? I can do something to fix this.
Yeah.
So let me have some fun with it too. And that's when I actually started feeling more feminine. When I started doing wigs. And then I was like, you know what? It kind of went a little bit further. Let me start doing some makeup. And now I feel, I don't want to say just beautiful because I feel beautiful, but I feel like myself.
Yeah.
It's not to like seek attention or it's not to like, you know, appease anyone else looking at me. It's for me to feel comfortable in my own skin and walking out of my house without having to wear clothes that cover my whole body.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to leave my house with a hat every day, you know? So that's a really big thing for me. And I don't know, a lot of that is through therapy. I probably sound like a therapist right now. It's like kind of talking through it. But yeah, so for me, that's, I don't know if I
no
tangent, but yeah.
No, that's great. I think we ended up with your story and like you not really wanting to, and correct me if I regurgitate this wrong. From your childhood, you hating to like wear the dresses, just being a full blown out tomboy, not really tapping into what our mothers at that point in time constituted as being feminine. It was more on, okay, this is what I have to do. This is how I want my girl to look like. So you're gonna look this way because that's how girls are supposed to look. And then it's kind of like you're pushing away from that. You don't want to do that. I forgot what the actual term is. Brain fart right now.
Like rebelling against it.
Yes, rebelling. Literally all in my head was bullying. I don't know why I said bullying. But so, and then shifting to, as you're growing up, being able to connect more with men than with women on certain things, because honestly, it is more easy to strike up a conversation with a man than it is with a woman, unless you're in the bathroom at a club or a bar.
And you're out.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, she's throwing up. Hold her hair. Like, that's it. And
Literally.
you don't even know this girl. Ever see her again.
Ever. And they'll stick up for you and they'll look out for you, like,
and then tell you night. It's like, fuck him. He ain't shit.
Literally.
I only girls.
I am too. But it's so funny because, like, in contrast to you, I love those stuff. Like, I loved getting dressed. Like, my mom would buy me a specific dress, and if I loved that dress, I would wear it everywhere. I didn't care. Like, I loved being like, I wouldn't call it flashy, but I liked dressing up. I loved it. And my mom loved doing that. Like, she would dress up in the nicest things, me and my sister and my brother. But it was never on the whole, like, oh, you're going to dress this way to look this way. Like, you don't want to wear dresses and skirts. No. We wore, like, those jumpers and all this stuff. But slowly but surely, like, I think things happens in our lives that kind of changes how we view ourselves. Like, when men begin to sexualize you a little too early in your age because you like to dress up, and like, oh, zoom into you, and it's like when you get those unwanted attention at a young age, it's like you begin to rebel against that. Like, you begin to become more self-conscious on yourself and what you're wearing. Like, I didn't feel comfortable wearing shorts or a short skirt. I couldn't do it anymore. I would wear pants. I would wear a long skirt. I didn't mind wearing like a nice top, but it was automatically ingrained in me from the attention that I didn't want. That, okay, I had to cover everything up. And then to top it off, the fact that I did have hips. I did have an ass. I did have boobs, technically. So, like, that was even more, and men love that shit. They don't care how old or young you are. They don't care. They love that shit. And that then begins to play into the psyche of me. And it's crazy because you would think that I would gravitate towards women, like being friends with women, talking more with them, being close with them. But then it began to clash with my personality, where I want to talk to everyone. I want to interact with everyone. And I'm very blunt in with my friends. Being honest, like, I'm a loyal person, but if you were wrong, you're wrong, and I will tell you you're wrong. It won't be out of place of malice, but I'll tell you you're wrong. Like we were talking about this like earlier, like, I joke around. I'm gonna cut your ass. I just will. That's just me. And the people who are less likely to get mad or take offense to that is men, because they cut ass too, and because they cut ass and like they don't take it personal. Like, two guys will have a fight. And it's over. Like, they can be friends. Like it's nothing. Like, look at Drake and fucking Chris Brown. Like, they're cool and friends now. Like, if you really think about it. So it's like, I then began to like shift a little towards, okay, now a lot of my friend groups are guys. Again, that was also a transition from the unwanted attention to then, yeah, okay, playing sports and being friends with certain females in sports, but then you realize, like, there's some females who are just way too catty for you, and it just begins to clash more with my personality. And then playing in sports, following sports, being from a sports family, what's that gonna end up doing? Pushing you over to guys, because you can have more in-depth conversation with guys and more animated. You're like, oh shit, you know sports? Oh shit, yeah. And you just go in. And that's like when you were saying that like you end up connecting more like with people's husbands or boyfriends, it's like, yeah, because it's so easy to just have those kind of conversations with politics, anything with them. And then that made me more comfortable in being with them and understand that okay, it's not really, like it's not me, it's them. And slowly but surely, I think this was probably college. Like when I graduated undergrad and I went to Ireland for the first time. Slowly but surely, I began to come out of that, okay, so you don't have to cover your body. Just be comfortable with your body. Being feminine doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Because to me, I had then equate being feminine to dressing nice the way I thought was nice, but then getting like backlash from that, from the one attention that I got. And so it's like, I think that kind of shut me down completely mentally, where it's like where I started off when I was born to, I would say, college 2015. It was that space of, okay, let me kind of close myself a little bit and then open back up and say, okay, now I can dress how I want and look the way I want because it's what I want. And that's just business of looks. I'm not even talking about like how I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to dress, how I'm supposed to interact with men, because that's another separate factor. But they were all kind of like affected by that initial jump. And so like body positivity, eating healthy, going to the gym because I wanted to, because I wanted to feel good, that I think began to change. Okay, you can wear shorts, you look good in shorts. Changing that mentality up about little things, and then seeing that, okay, you don't only have to be friends with guys, like you can actually open yourself up to being, friends with guys. But then it turns a point where it's like, okay, but you've kind of shut down that feminine side of you for so long, where yeah, you may date someone, but you still feel like, no, you should be in charge, you should have control over every single situation. Because when you have those unwanted attention, it was out of your control. You could not control it. So you kind of covering yourself was you kind of grabbing control of all of that. And me also being the second child and knowing that, okay, I gotta get shit done, like, and be my character as well. It's kind of like everything just happened so fast and such a short, well, I'm like, 29 now? Still a short period of time. Where it kind of catapulted into now my personal life. Now, okay, I am rigid. I think I can do everything by myself. But it's also that, okay, no, you don't have to. It's right. Okay, let go. And I mean, I feel like it's still something that I'm kind of going through and trying to find within myself as well. Like, what is being feminine to me? I'm still not sure.
Because it's different to every single person. And that's the, I think that's what made us really come and try to do this podcast. Because it's like, it's different to us, but they still somehow make sense when connected.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned the shorts thing. I had a really bad interaction with like catcalling for one summer. It was just one summer. I was like, I had shorts. I promise you, I did not wear shorts again for about 4 years. I would walk out in the heat in the summer in jeans because I just did not want the unwanted attention. I remember one time, and this is a very personal story that still bothers the hell out of me. Now I think about it, it was kind of funny because the guy was just lame, but it was like,
they always are. They
are famous guys, or whatever. So I'm like walking on Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn, which is like, it has a bunch of shops.
Yeah.
Right. The park area, Fifth Avenue, there's a whole bunch of stores, bunch of vendors, whatever. But it was the place that everyone would go to restaurants, wherever you want to. And I'm with my friends. I'm literally like 14, 15 at the time. I'm wearing shorts and like a crop top, but not a full crop top, like like, it wasn't up to my boobs. It was like right at my belly button.
Yeah.
And like, it was hot outside. It was like 95 degrees, like, you know. And this guy was a passenger in a car, and he was like, "Hey girl, you need some water? You looking thirsty?" And he poured his whole water bottle out into the street, like driving by. And my friend was like, was that to you? And I was like, I mean, I'm the only bitch here. It's not you, bitch. He was looking right at me. So ever since then, I felt like embarrassed of myself. I'm like, damn, do I look like a thirsty bitch going outside wearing shorts? Like, no, I don't. You're just a dickhead who probably gets no pussy. Like, yeah. It's so weird. And when I met my partner, they were like, okay, we're going to go to the beach and this and that. I'm like, oh, I don't really have shorts. Like, why? I was like 19 when I met my partner. And I'm like, because I feel scared when I wear shorts. Like, I don't want people bothering me. And they're like, I got you. Like, wear whatever the fuck you want.
But it's like you feel like you're being vulnerable. Like, you're exposing a part of yourself. People are judging you. Like,
right. Is it my legs? Because I have no butt. I'm white. Like, what? Like, what was it about me that made me look thirsty to you? Because thirsty was like a top word. Because now if you say, yo, he's so thirsty, it's like, yo, it's like 20. What are you, from 2012? And in 2012, I was literally 14. And I think that was the summer, like, right before I went to high school, which was like 2012 to 2013. So it was weird. And I think being sexualized as well, I agree with you on that also, because I went to Catholic school my whole life. So I always had a jumper when I was little, and then you get older and you start wearing the skirts, and we would all roll up our skirts because we didn't want it down past our knees or whatever. And I realized that's when men started like sexualizing me in like 7th, 8th grade. And you're like, holy crap. And like, you know, it's so crazy. I feel like I got sexualized more by random people when I was younger than I am now, where I look like an adult and I have my tattoos showing. Like, they're like, oh, that's a full grown woman. Like, leave her alone.
That's but let me go to this. Yeah. And it's so funny because I didn't even put 1 and 2 together in that aspect. Because, like, so I came to this country in 2004. Yeah. Sorry, 2003. And I was, 10 years old then? But even still, since Nigeria, I still felt, and I was 10, mind you. So I felt like that started for me between the ages of 7 and 10, where that started, where it was like, okay, you're overly sexualizing me. I'm not acting like an adult, like I'm a child.
Right.
And it began from then. And then Women Matters Worse too was when I came to the States. What happened? I went to Catholic school too. And it's okay, you're wearing a skirt, like all of that. Like, I did not wear, the first public school I went to was when I moved to Jersey. And I went to public school, senior year. And even then, I didn't wear shorts. And when it became summertime, I wore full-blown pants, jeans. I didn't wear any kind of short skirt because I felt like my ass rolled the whole skirt up. So no, I have hips. I can't do that. I barely even wore any dress, no matter how hot it was. I was glad when it was wintertime because I would just cover everything up. But it's so true. It's like that one person that's very inconsequential in your life made a very consequential situation for you that changed how you perceived yourself. And it's crazy how that stays with you. And it's so long for you to like literally give yourself a mental shake and say, no, it's okay. Or it takes someone else to compliment you and make you more make you more confident in yourself.
Because you could be complimenting without being disgusting.
Yeah, literally.
Like, oh my God, I love your hair. Not, oh my God, I love your hair. Can I come in it? Like, that's girls versus guys. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so crazy. And it's the story I just told is literally, I'm 24. That story is from 10 years ago. And I still remember it. And I bet you I've never seen that man again in my life. I've never even probably crossed paths with him. But it still fucking stays with me. And it stood with me up until I had someone that was like, wear whatever the fuck you want. Like, you look good. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, I literally had to hear it from someone else, which would I rather have like been able to do it myself, of course, because everybody wants to fix themselves, but you know, sometimes you need an outside voice, a non voice, or maybe a good bias voice to be like, no, bro, you look good. Like, wear whatever the hell you want. And if you feel not safe, like, that's okay. I'm here to protect you. And that took me a really long time, like, especially like wearing dresses, shorts, all of it. Bikinis. I've been skinny for a long time. Never wore a bikini to my partner.
Dude, I still can't wear one out. Like,
really?
I
like at the beach?
Like, I'll wear those, like, the high-waisted shorts, and I'll wear a bikini top. That I'm comfortable with. But I wear, like, the high-waisted, skirty-looking ones. But I'm not that comfortable to really just wear a full-blown bikini. Because each time I feel like, okay, well, I feel like someone's judging me. And then I see someone, and maybe this will probably touch more into body positivity and what society says your body should look like. But then I'll see someone who's like 2 times my size with a bikini on, and honestly, you would think that I would be like, oh, you should go put some clothes on. No, I'm jealous.
Right.
I'm literally jealous. I'm like, yo, like, what kind of confidence do you have? Why don't I have that kind of confidence to do that?
Right.
Like, that's great, but I can't do that. Like, there's sometimes I'm getting dressed and I'm like, no, this is too revealing. Like, I'm not comfortable enough to really walk out the house like that. And I'm not out here looking like a hoe. There's a difference. But it's like, there's still something, even wearing shorts sometimes, and I'm like, oh, no, maybe that may be offensive to someone else. Or maybe it'll draw unwanted attention. Like, if I'm going out with, like, me and my friend and someone's significant other, or we're going out in a group, and all people's significant others are there, literally I'm like, okay, I can't dress too sexualized, because I have to respect, because I don't know, like, I don't want to draw unwanted attention towards me to then have and it's not like, it's not even in a conceited way. It's based off of the past that I've had. And then not wanting to cause trouble, not wanting another female to come talk to me and say, hey, you're a little too dressed up in this manner, especially when I already know I connect with the guy more. Because that'll probably be one of my guy friends whose girlfriend is like, yo, nah, chill. So now I have to go, okay, I can't outdress you. I can't really be any kind of sexualized way. I can't really be sexy. I can't do anything. Because now, to me, now I'm equating being sexy to something negative.
Right.
Like, it's not about me and how I feel in my body with what I'm wearing. It's now me trying to choose what to wear based on how that's going to make you feel, and making sure that's going to make you, whoever you're with, comfortable. And it's like, yo, I'm going to stand here and, like, pick outfits forever. Because, like, why can't I just be comfortable in my own feminine hood? Like, this is who I am, this is the body that I have, this is what I want to wear. Why must I sit here and then ponder about how the effect is going to have on someone that is not mine, I don't like?
Yeah.
Like, she bothers me.
It's crazy because, like, we literally have to work with our own insecurities and appease someone else's insecurities for no reason besides the fact that we know that not every girl, but some girls are going to take it offensively and be like, oh, why are you all dressed up, like, in front of my mans and da-da-da-da-da. Like, no, I'm wearing this because I look good in this. Like, you decided to wear that outfit. I decided to wear this outfit.
Exactly.
Then you, I'm so sorry. That is your fault. Like, not to be a bitch, but that's your fault. Like, you're out with your mans. You should be wanting to look good for your mans. And, like, the whole, like, certain men, like, don't like their women going outside, like, looking all sexy. Like, no. You should want your girl to be with you looking sexy. You don't want your girl to be not with you looking sexy. Like, that's just her look for something else, right? Like, my partner especially, I'm like, babe, can I wear this? And I'm like, why are you asking me, like, why, if you can wear that? You're with me. who cares? Like, let me show you off. Like, and it's so different. And you know what it is? It's like, it's how you're raised.
Yeah.
Mostly your parents get very jealous over other girls, like when your dad is like maybe giving them too much attention or whatever, whoever it is. You get like that because it's like, oh, my man shouldn't be like looking at another girl. But this past year, actually, it was like maybe 3-4 months ago, we went to a little club. It's like on top of, it's called Iguanas in the city.
Oh yeah, I know Iguanas.
You know Iguanas?
Yeah, I know Iguanas.
Turns into a club.
Yeah.
And like restaurant is closed. It's like a little club.
Yeah.
So it's like salsa, merengue, reggaeton. So my partner's kind of shy, whatever. We dance a little bit together, but I'm mostly dancing with like other people, and they'll tell me like, go dance because like you want to dance. So like, especially as I can't dance, but I'm drunk. But I want to dance, right? I'm gonna try. They call me like a bunny rabbit because like when I dance, I can't help but to shake my shoulders a little bit, and I'm not supposed to. So they're like, you look like a bunny rabbit, whatever. But they love it because they always grab me to dance with them. So I'm trying to get my partner to dance, and there was this girl, badass body. She had like this skin tight bodysuit. I was like, ooh, I'm like, baby, yo, she looked good. And she kept looking at my partner. And at one point, she came over to my partner to like, oh, come dance. And my partner said no, like out of respect for me, but also because they just don't dance. Like they're very shy, very withdrawn, and they don't drink. So they're surrounded by drunk people who are just out of their minds dancing, and they're just there sober. So I pull them onto the dance floor, and then finally the girl comes to me because she sees them sitting next to them. So she pulls me, so I'm like, okay, and I pull my partner, and I put them to dance together. And I'm like, and they were like, yo, I can't believe you did that, because I used to be very insecure back then, like when we first started, because I was like younger, I was like 19, and I would be insecure about the girls, this and that. But I'm like, babe, she looked good. She wanted to dance with you. Go ahead, go dance. I'm right here. I'm watching you guys. Hyping y'all up, dancing and she's like them how to dance and stuff. And I'm like, I'm hyping it up instead of being insecure, because I don't know. It was the kind of vibe it was. I was dancing with random guys. I was dancing with my father-in-law's girlfriend. Like, you know, I was dancing with other people. Dance with other people. If I can, you can too.
Yeah.
And that girl looked way better than I do. She had a BBL. She had her whole body done. Not that that's, you know, beauty standard, but she looked good. Like, you know, you like, damn, all right, her body's banging.
Yeah.
Instead of being insecure, it's like, nah, go dance. And I think it just kind of ties back. I went on a tangent with that story, but it kind of ties back to, I shouldn't have to be, you know, worried about what I'm wearing based off of someone else's insecurities. Like, if I look like the best person in the place, good for me, you know.
But I feel like that's where like the whole negative part comes in, where sometimes they feel like the best way to show that you care is for you to be jealous. It's for you to be insecure about yourself. And sometimes partners, whether it's female or male, we don't do enough job making our significant other feel secure in what we have, or secure in ourselves, in our bodies. Because sometimes you need that person to just speak positivity into you. Like, there was a day where I was shitting on myself. I was voice noting you, shitting on myself. You were like, nah, stop that shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, sometimes you just need that. You just need someone to just reconfirm that, no, bro, you good. Like, you don't have to look like someone just photoshopped your ass. Like, you don't have to look like that. Are you happy? And are you taking the steps to reach where you want to reach? Not just sit here, bitch, whine, and moan. Like, are you actually doing that? And I feel like sometimes, like, men, I'm going to put it back on some men, not all, some, do a poor job, and they would rather pit two women against each other because they feel like that's what women should do. Like, you should not be okay with me dancing with another girl. No. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's a hetero relationship or not. It doesn't matter. Like, it matters more on the person themselves and how they value you enough to want you to be your best. I should not be bringing you down. Like, we should both be leveling each other up. Like, it should not be a pull down. Like, we all come into a relationship with each insecurity, and that insecurity for some people, it'll transform into something else when you have a different kind of igniter to it. So, and then you're bringing in what someone else think is feminine, and how, like, sometimes they only equate feminine to you being able to give birth, you being able to have to dress well and just prop up your partner, you having a low tone voice and not being very vocal about what you like and what you don't like, you always being the healer, the nurturer. That's what being feminine is, and they try to push that out. But I think that's where we all try to kind of like fall into a trap, because we all have different characters. We all have different upbringings. We're all from different kind of cultures.
Yeah.
You cannot stick these few words, these few categories, and try and squeeze all of women into that. There are some women that do not want to give birth. They don't want children. Does that make them less feminine?
Yeah. It's actually funny you mentioned that, because I made the decision with my partner, because when I met my partner, I never wanted kids when I was younger. And then it's funny because, like, I met someone who I was like, holy shit, like, if there's anybody who makes me want to have kids just for the sake of having a family with someone and building my own family, like, you actually make me want to have kids. Like, that's so crazy to me. And then we've been dealing with kids for the past few years, other people's kids, but, kids. Yeah. Because they have little siblings that they're 6 now, but I've been in their life since they were 2. Me and my partner have been together for almost 4.5 years. So I was like, wow, like, I really want this. And now they're 6, and I'm like, yo, I don't want this shit no more. I can't do it. Like, we're homebodies. Like, we go out, but we like peace in our house. Like, when people come over to our house, they're like, it's so quiet. Mm-hmm. And I have a kid. It's my dog. His name is Luke. I call him Lucas. When he's in trouble, that's Lucas. All right? That's my little motherfucker. But I birthed him, basically. But yeah, I recently made the decision. There's a couple factors that go into it, but that I don't want to have kids, at least on my own, especially because my brother and sister have autism. A few of my cousins do, and it all is running on, like, my mom's side, and then my dad's side also has some mental illnesses. So I was kind of debating between, do I want to have kids? Do I want to do IVF, in vitro, get their egg, which I know is a healthy egg that doesn't have any kind of family history of that, and does that make me selfish for not wanting to bring a kid into the world because I know it's going to have problems? Or does that make me selfless? Because why would I willingly bring a child into this world that I know is going to struggle and is going to need 100%, like, that is never going to be 100% independent in their life.
Yeah.
Or that if I die, my kid is going to be good. Like, my brother and my sister, when it's time for my parents to go, it's going to be me. At least they have me. I'm the oldest. And my brother is really, higher on the spectrum. He's nonverbal. He uses diapers, this and that. He has epilepsy. Like, it's very hard. My sister's different. I want you to meet my sister so bad because she is just a trip. She's 20, but in her mindset is like 8.
Yeah.
Right. So she's a trip, but I love her to death, but she's never going to be 100% independent.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I want to go through the process of, having a baby grow in my womb and going through that process of giving birth and having the baby come onto me for the first time after it just came out of my vagina, I'm in pain, or had epidural, I didn't feel shit. And, looking at my child for the first time, counting its fingers and toes.
Yeah.
Out 2 years later, like, fuck, it's never gonna, live a life to its full potential, how life should be. And I had to kind of go back and forth. And again, this is through therapy. Therapy, if you are not in therapy, get in therapy. If you think you don't need it,
you need it.
Therapists have therapists because of all the fucked up shit that they hear. Everyone needs someone that doesn't know shit about them. That can't a biased opinion. You know, and it could be any little thing that you need to talk about. Sorry, as a PSA for therapy. But yeah, I kind of took that as like, you know, does this make me less of a woman that I'm never going to have this experience? And I'm like, no, because you know what? I am a mom. My dog, that's my baby. I've had him since he was 2 months old. That I am mommy. Yep. When I go away on trips and I leave him somewhere and I come back, he comes running to me, going fucking crazy. I'm like, okay, mommy's home. I got you, Papa. Don't worry. Like when I leave for more than a few hours, I get so sad. I'm like, I wish Luke was here. You know, like if he's my kid. And like we also have a cat. So my partner is like that with their cat. You know, like and they're whatever. But yeah, not having kids, having kids. Again, it's a cultural thing and it's also a generational thing. Yeah. Because as a lot of us have seen, like people are now having kids older and older and older in life instead of popping out the kids really young. Back then it was like 18, boom, married and a kid. Like right after. And you're expected to have like 5 kids before you're 30, which is fucking nuts. But it's just the way it was. And a lot of people put that with femininity or just being feminine. And it's like, no, I don't have to carry someone's child or my child to be a woman. Yeah. I'm still born with a vagina. Like, it doesn't matter if it's used properly, you know? But like, I don't know. So I recently made that decision. I cried over it a little bit, but when I realized that it was for, I don't want to say the greater good. I'm not helping all of humanity, but I'm at least helping a life that I know deserves. You know, and I'm like, if we want kids, we can foster. You know, my dad was in the foster care system. Yeah. My foster care system. We can foster, we can adopt. There's so many options. I wish we didn't live in New York because it's really expensive to do it in New York. Adoption here is like $30,000. It's like disgustingly like overpriced. And with the whole like Wade versus Roe being overturned, like it just pissed me off even more. We can do a different podcast
on that. Yeah, that's another podcast to be had.
Yeah, but so yeah, I recently made that decision and I had to deal with that. Like, does that make me less of a woman? Sorry, I rambled a bit, but
no, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the key parts too. It's like we are defined by our body in each and every sense, and that's what makes us a woman. Not our character, not what we can bring to the table as well, not what we can provide. Like, yes, a man is a provider because that's their own thing. They protect, they provide, and I had to learn. That was another part of me. The eureka moment I had when I went on my trip was that no, it's okay to let them lead. It's okay to let them provide and protect. That makes them feel needed and wanted. Yeah. And that's something that I didn't think was a big deal until that trip. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's actually something that's actually needed. I need to take a step back. But it's also because we've always felt our body is what they see makes us a woman. Like our uterus, our breasts. That's why sometimes like women who have breast cancer and have to like I forget the name, the term itself, but get their breasts removed. Like they feel like they're not a woman because that's what society tells them a woman should have. You should have breasts. You should have an ass. You should have a uterus. Like, there's a reason why, and it's not even shaming women who do BBLs. Like, you got the money, bruh, it's your body, do whatever you want to do with it. As long as you look good and you stay healthy, do whatever you want to do. But it's also, like, people who really do that because they feel like they should fit a beauty standards. Because that beauty standards is equated to what being a woman is and being feminine is. A woman being feminine does not always, she doesn't always have to look petite. No, what about a tall woman? she can be feminine too. Like we can't just kind of squeeze her into a little form of what we should be. And I think that's where we then have like this new generation. They're like, no, I can do what the fuck I want to do, and I'm still a woman. I'm still feminine. Like I can still do all these things. It's not negating a man. It never negates a man, because you two bring something else to the table, but don't just equate us to only a certain small segment when we are so much more than that. Because when you do that and you only like you overly sexualize us, like we have to be sexy, if not we're not feminine. Like no, that's not it. We are more than that. We are more than dressing skimpy. We're more than being a fucking woman on the one of those dancers in a music video. We're more than music video vixens is what they call them. We're more than that. Doesn't mean like we're only feminine. Like we don't have to always tap into that sexual side to be feminine, to be in our whole feminine. Like there's so many different aspects to it that I feel like sometimes we forget that there are outside factors that keep us kind of encaged in what society thinks a woman should be, a woman should do. And I think sometimes we just need to give ourselves a hug. Like, I think that's what it goes back to, like, going to therapy and having a therapist. Like, you just need to give yourself a hug, because there's so many things that may have happened to you in the past that causes you to be on a path that you're on now. Like I was talking about my trip. Literally a eureka moment was like, no, I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, because
right, it's personal.
Yeah, that, and I don't want to put people on blast. People, pretty much. I usually would, but not in this setting. I don't want the whole world to be put on blast here. But it's like there were certain things that happened where I just sat back and I just watched. I'm a watcher. If I'm out, I'm quiet.
Right.
I'm very quiet. And it was also a moment where I knew this trip was going to be life-changing. That's why I kept telling you that I feel a little anxious. I feel a little nervous before this trip. I don't usually feel nervous, because I felt like the trip was going to be life-changing. And so, like, just seeing how, like, the couples in my life interact. Like, I feel like that was the main thing. And I was someone who's like, okay, do I want to be in a relationship? Yes, I do. Am I ready for a relationship? I don't know. I don't think so. Because I have been burned bad in the past, like used and abused. Like because when you're a giver, and to all my givers out there, we get used and abused. Because sometimes we don't know how to set the boundaries on, okay, who's actually worth giving to. And because takers, no offense to y'all, if someone's giving you something, you'll take it. Because that's in your nature to take. It's not like you don't know how to give. You're just more prone to take it. But yeah, and it took a time for me to kind of like, not really accept, but like just see. Just literally have it in front of me, like great people. Like I didn't have to worry about interacting with someone else's husband and them feeling stuff way. Like I said earlier on, I didn't have to feel that way. It was a more of, but that's also when these people are in a very healthy relationship. You see the healthy relationship. You see it. And you're a witness to it. And that's when it really hit me. It's like, we spent almost a whole week together. And not once did I feel like, oh, I'm dressed inappropriately. Oh, I shouldn't wear that outfit because that would show too much. No, like I felt, for once in my life, I felt completely secure in myself. I didn't have to worry about someone else. But I felt completely secure in myself. I felt completely secure in all my interactions with everyone, with all the guys, and then all the girls. Like, I made really, really great friendships. Like, if there was this one couple, shout out to Tiffany, Tiffany you're watching, Tiffany and Chad. Oh my God. Their relationship, how they interact with each other. Like, it's just, and then their interactions with me, because I was cool with him. I would say I was cool with him first, but then it was like, bitch, get out of the way. Tiffany, come here. Like, his vibe, I'm like, come here, come hither. Like, you're my girl. And he's like, later on, he was like, oh my God, thank you so much for being friends with her. And I'm like, no, she's a fucking bomb. But she's a great person, and you're a great person, and y'all are great people. Like, and there is no insecurity there because I felt like whenever you're around someone who's negative, it kind of bleeds onto you as well. And I've always prided myself in keeping a close knit group of friends. Like, I'm very careful of who I bring into my circle. And if you begin to become negative in there, you're gone. I'm sorry, like, it's over for you. Like, I'm not. It won't be from a malicious standpoint, but it's like, yo, we can't really fuck each other like that. Like, we're gonna separate each other. But that whole trip taught me, like, this is feminine. Like, one of my close friends, the girl who actually got married, and I know her husband as well. But she's one of the strongest person I know. Like, she's one of the, like, get together, like, boss. When they say boss bitch, that's her. Like, she gets her shits together. She would be like, nope, you. She will take over. She's almost like a type A. She will take over everything. And to have him next to her, and he's not a pushover either. Like, he's Miss, I'm gonna get down shit done in here. Like, that's kind of how he is, but he's also a little bit laid back too. But seeing that kind of person, I don't want to use the word submit because people use that word in a negative term and it's really not negative. But to be able to be with him in the way their relationship is, and I saw the whole shit from inception. Like, when I tell you, I was almost bawling at that wedding. I was like, y'all can't do this to me. I can't do this. Oh my, that literally was me. And I was like, yo, like, to see her, and she's one of the people I actually really look up to, and see how she is in her relationship with him, how she can be vulnerable in that relationship despite how she is. And that really brought me to believe that, no, like, it's on the guy. Like, when someone makes you feel secure and loved, you can submit to that person. Like, it's not even questionable. Like, no, because you want to be with that person. Like, you're not questioning. Oh, you know that person's not going to take advantage of you. You can let your guard down because he's going to protect for you. He's going to protect you. He's going to provide us things for you. And providing is not only in the financial sense. I keep telling people it's not just financial. There's so much more things than providing money. It's just material. Yes, that's there. But you provide other things too that can keep that person secure. And I saw it again with someone else that was in that wedding. So I called my mentor. She's one of my really close friends too. You'll get to meet her. The other one that got married, she lives in on the West Coast. But the other one you get to meet. And even she too, she's kind of like that as well, where we are very independent women. Like, when I'm telling independent, we gotta get shit done. But when you see her spouse as well, he too is we gotta get shit done. Like, I have plans, I have this, but to see how he cares, provides, protects her, and it gives her that room to be vulnerable, to let that side of her show. And it goes to show, like, you can be independent, but you can also still be feminine. You can also still let that vulnerable part of you come out. Like, it's not just, because this is the bad rap independent women get. We're independent, we can do shit by ourselves, blah, 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 blah. Oh, but you can't get a man because you want to be a man. That's literally what they say. But that's not the case. For some, not all. For some, it's more of a, no, I just don't have time to deal with the bullshit. Like, I'm not going to sit here and give myself to someone who my intuition is telling me this person ain't it. This person will use and abuse me. Emotionally, mentally. And that's where then we kind of lock up, like, okay, no, we're going to get shit done, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get our own money. Like, getting your own money don't mean shit. You know, like, being feminine, it doesn't mean shit. Like, being feminine is so much more. And being manly is so much more than being able to fight and protect your wife and provide financially. It's way more than that. And I think that's where this whole conception of femininehood is completely, sometimes can be misconstrued. Because, like, you see people who are, oh, you're a feminist, that's what's bad. No. To every movement, there's always a positive and negative.
We were talking about independency and, it not being the same as, like, financially providing. Yeah. And, one of my favorite terms, barefoot and...
pregnant in the kitchen?
Pregnant in the kitchen. Yep, that's the woman's role, and the man's role is to provide, put food on the table, fight for his wife if he has to, whatever. But it's funny because remember I said I did some note taking beforehand. I have talking points, and the last thing that I wrote was we can both be independent but rely on each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that whole shit gets misconstrued. And an independent woman needs an independent man, and that is key. Like, and financially, yep, but like with family, if something is happening in this emergency and my dad's in the hospital and you're home and I'm not, are you able to go see my dad really quick to make sure he's okay? Like, because my partner, I can rely on that. Like, I've gone with my partner's mom, who has a lot of medical issues, to the hospital with them before because no one else is there. Like, okay, well, you're my mother-in-law.
But the funny thing too, like, let's take it even a step further. The samurais, they make sure that their wives can fucking fight. So when they leave the house to go fight, they know that if someone broke in, she will kill you.
She will kill you.
Yeah. Like, I don't want no damsel in distress. Who wants a damsel in distress? When I have to worry about you? No.
Unless that's like your role-playing kink, go for it.
Right?
Other than that, this is the real world. Like, it's dog eat dog out here. I'm sorry. Even in relationships, like, you can leave your partner for 2 seconds and some crazy shit could fucking happen. Even when I walk my dog, I'm only going for like a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk, sometimes a whole hour if I have the time and it's nice outside and the floor, whatever. But I still tell them I love you every single time I leave the door. Like, I leave the house. Yeah. Or, like, we go to bed. I love you. Good night. Because you never know what the fuck is going to happen. And we're both here for each other.
Exactly.
Like, and another thing I said, too, is just being a fucking friend. Like, I feel like healthy relationships, okay, they're fucking, they love each other, but they're also best friends.
Exactly.
Have to be best friends with your partner. I hurt me more breaking up with my partner because I lost my best friend than it would being like I lost my partner.
That's what always hurts. Like, when you have... So there was I'm not even going to call it a relationship because it was a situation. And honestly, women do not get into situationships because you will get hurt.
I was going to say that.
You will get hurt. Don't do it. I fell into that trap. I wasn't planning on it. I fell into that trap. But what hurt more when I ended it was the friendship he and I had. Yeah. Like, there was, like, when I tell you, like, there was a genuine friendship there. Like, as we're FaceTiming, he could be playing a video game. I could be watching a show, but we're still FaceTiming. We don't have to talk, but just being around each other's presence. And you losing that in a friend, I'm not even saying, oh, we did this once in a while. No, every single day where this person became part of, like, your routine. Like, I'm going to work in the morning. He's 3 hours behind. He's staying up to make sure I got to work safe. And we continue talking throughout the whole day. Like, when you have a friendship to that level, it hurts when that person hurts you. And you have to make a decision to leave. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy whatsoever. But when you have that good foundation and that translates into a good relationship as well, even if the sex is not there anymore, even if what life happens, you still have that friendship. And that friendship is what is going to boost you guys and take you guys through the rough patches, because there will be rough patches. Like, that respect and that like you have for that person, not love, like, you genuinely like the person, it's going to let it last.
Yep.
Like, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this because we went deeper than we thought we would.
Yeah, we went on a couple tangents, but I want to say one thing to what you just said. There's times where I fight with my partner and it'll be stupid, whatever. They're like, I love you. I just don't like you right now. You know,
Yeah.
because being in love with somebody, it's not consistent. You're not going to always stay in love with the person 24/7. It's working on like falling back in love with that person sometimes, because we used to be very, 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 very toxic. We were the toxic couple of the year. Like, if there was an award ceremony,
Yeah.
I was there with your best friend, right? So it would be me and him getting the awards. But we had to work through that toxicity, work on it, but also like working with us together, but also working on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, the therapist, we both, you know, started getting medicated for whatever issues, like anxiety, stuff like that, depressions that we had, started going through things, trying to fix ourselves, because if you don't fix yourself, you're not going to fix your relationship. You know, I think a lot of it stems back to like, oh, well, I can't be a girl because I have a shitty partner, or like, oh, I can't be a man because like my girl's shitty. Like, no, there's something obviously wrong with you too.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's just not the girl for you, because so much of it is environmental, like you said. Like, the people who are around helped you be feminine, and right now that's how I feel. Like, the people that I'm around and how they've adjusted to me and accepting me for me has helped me to embrace myself and my own femininity. Yeah. And also, oh, I had one other thing to say, and it left my mind.
Goldfish.
Goldfish. Damn goldfish. I can't even probably keep one alive. But yeah, just in general, like, you know, having those people around you is really what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Because people will put you down without meaning to. Like, I have another friend, she will remain unnamed. She won't see this, but most likely, but she'll remain unnamed. But you do know her, I think. Oh wait, actually, edit that out. Edit that. I'll tell you outside. Edit that part out. But the
yeah,
you do know.
Yeah.
Right. But she would like hype me up when I sent her something, like a picture of myself, and then like have something negative to say after. So, backhanded compliments, and it's like, it kind of feels like it takes away from me being comfortable in my skin from men, which hurts more than from a man. Because from a man, it's like, okay, whatever, fuck you. You probably have a small ass dick, right? But from another woman who you see as beautiful and gorgeous, and like, then you compliment them, like, genuinely compliment them, and then they compliment you, but they always have something negative to say after they compliment you, like, or like make, even if it's trying to be like, oh, we're just cutting ass because like we cut ass, but it was like,
no, that's not cutting ass.
I didn't, because that was a little too much. Like, and my partner said the same thing. They were like, do you really think that was necessary for her to say that? And I was like, you know what? No, it kind of did bother me. I laughed at it because it was funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, are you trying to put me down? Because that was unnecessary, because I've never put you down. And it made me take actually like a step back from her a bit, because I was like, oh, I thought we were cool, but that you just kind of threw me off with that.
Yeah, I think that, and just to wrap it up here before we go on another tangent, I feel like that's also another woman trying to secure herself by it's always her trying to secure herself by stepping on someone else, because that then she feels like she's reassured in herself, and it's just all toxic femininity. Like, it's just
femininity.
Like, that's just what it boils down to, honestly. But
there's femininity, but toxic femininity is something, and we could probably make a whole podcast called Toxic.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see a podcast from us doing that, let us know, because we probably have stories for days.
And we'll try to make this shit more organized, because this was the first attempt. I've never done a video. I've never been on camera.
We was spitballing that, but that was what this was supposed to be. Us just spitballing like shit that just happened to us, to bring us to where we are at now. And so the next one will be a little bit more organized. We say that, but probably not.
Be even worse. It was like, yo, I forgot to tell you last time.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe we'll just do a live and just fuck it all up. I'm like, oh shit, nope. Actually, no, we can't do lives. We can't
No,
do...
we live too goddamn far.
No, we can do live without being next to each other.
Oh, that's true too. That's true too. But then I can't be like, like, why are you saying I can't hit you really quick? Like, yo.
No. You just mute yourself. You can just mute yourself. Like, no. Or put in the chat, like, oh, no. What are you doing? But yeah. Well, I just want to thank Frances for doing this. She didn't have to. No, actually, I made her. But she didn't have to. But this was really a very deep conversation. We went deeper than I thought we... Actually, no. We went just as deep as I thought we would have gone. And I think this is actually going to spark more podcasting we're going to do about just being a woman. And how being a woman, there's no set rule to how to be a woman. It's endless of how to be a woman. We are not just subjugated to a certain category, you know. And I can't wait for that. And we're gonna do that.
Yeah, this has to keep going because this was not enough, and you're gonna have to edit the fuck out of this. And I'm so sorry. You're gonna hold on. This doesn't even make sense here. Let me put this there. But I thank Onye for letting me be on this podcast in Onye'sWorld. I'm happy to be a part of Onye'sWorld. This is my first podcast ever, so I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But this is basically how we talk throughout our day. So I'm happy that we got to share it because we say some funny shit, but we also say some pretty real shit.
Yeah. They were like, whoa, that was real.
All we do is send voice notes all day, so we figured it should yes. And I'm looking forward to doing more, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And again, thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thanks, y'all. We'll catch y'all on our next podcast.
Peace, y'all.